Welcome to this month's Outlook video show.
Jay interviews Murray Wicks from the Silicon Valley Pride Board.
Roberta speaks with author D Neu about his new LGBTQ fictional tale.
Billy DeFrank Center senior programs received a check from the Rainbow Chamber of Commerce. Good evening and welcome to Outlook Video, your nationally recognized award-winning news magazine for the LGBTQ community. I'm Roberta Gonzalez-Gregg.
I'm Johnny Zick. This month, Jay Rayleigh will be interviewing Murray Wicks from the Silicon Valley Pride Board. They will talk about the monthly liquid therapy events and planning for this year's Pride in San Jose.
A gay man growing up in the Silicon Valley area with the gift of writing is likely to write about...
Technology, right?
Good guess, but no. Vampires, witches, and a calling. Oh my mind is running wild.
Later in tonight's show, Roberta interviews author Marvin Neu about his latest book, The Calling. Is this something scary?
We'll see. Kim Lawson covered the check presentation from the Rainbow Chamber of Commerce to the Billy DeFrank Center in support of senior programs.
We'll start the show with Jay's interview with Murray Wicks.
With us tonight is our guest, Murray Wicks, who has two things that he's done. I mean, it's not just like one, but he's got two things. Liquid therapy, which is done on the first Friday of every month at some location in San Jose, and the Silicon Valley Pride Committee. So, welcome, Murray.
Thank you for joining us. Thank you so much for having me tonight. Appreciate it.
So, it's been a while since we talked about liquid therapy,
yeah,
and
it has,
I just wanted to know how things have been changing and what's going on with that.
Well, things have been doing well. We're still been going. I think it's now, we were discussing earlier, time flies when you're having fun. I think it's our 10th year now. And we're still the same format as the first Friday of every month in a location in downtown San Jose.
And I remember last time, it's vaguely coming back to me that we had a bad economy at the time, and all these businesses were just eager for all this extra business, and so now things are booming. So
yes.
How did that affect your planning?
Oh, I'm really happy we're booming, obviously, but it's made life a little bit difficult because people, venues, whether restaurants or hotel bars or any kind of space, were really willing to have us. The economy was pretty bad. Downtown was pretty stagnant at that point. And fast forward, a few years, and as you mentioned, we were talking earlier, downtown is booming. There seems to be building on every single lot. The traffic's appalling. So, it's all good. It's made it a bit more troubling to get locations. Challenging is a better word, not troubling. Yeah. But we're still doing well. We still have a very good turnout. The people that host us are very happy with having us.
How many places do we have to choose from on your
So we have some summer venues and some winter venues.
Sure.
And,
well, with weather like this, who would know?
I know, seriously. I mean, how do we know, right?
Right, because you were at the Loft this past month.
Yeah, I don't know. Should have been outside because it was 75 degrees. Welcome to the new normal. Maybe I should plan on that. Maybe onto something there.
Yeah.
So we have a rotation of about 10 to 12 people, 10 to 12 locations, especially in some of the hotels. As some of the staff and management turn over, you have to reestablish relationships.
Yeah.
So that's been difficult with a couple of places that we were going quite regularly.
Is there a favorite place that people like? Where's your biggest crowd?
People like the Headley Club, the Anza.
Yeah, I like that place too.
Because it's such an amazing space.
It
If
is.
anyone watching this has not been, go to the Headley.
The Headley Club is a good
It's a place to go to. They're very accommodating. Colette and the crew,
How would someone know where you're going to go?
So we have a website, www.liquidtherapysj.com. We also have a meetup page. You can search for it by Liquid Therapy San Jose. We also have a Facebook page too. So we're doing the social media route. I've not done Twitter yet. I don't think I'm there.
Now, I'm not on Facebook, but I do get regular notices because...
We also do have a mailing list because I really understand some people don't like to be on Facebook. It's just not their thing. Absolutely don't want to penalize them. So we do have a confidential mailing list. You can just go to the website.
Right, I get a blind carbon copy.
And contact us through that, and I'll send out the announcements. And so it's the ways that we've been marketing it. Yeah.
So let's talk about the Pride celebration too.
Yeah, let's talk about Pride.
Now previous years, we've had Thaddeus and you
Yeah,
on together.
yeah.
And now we missed you last year, but you're back.
I did. I
Okay.
needed to take a sabbatical from it. Had
Okay.
a lot of stuff going on. I was still involved with the celebration. I actually ran the parade for them, but I was not on the board and didn't come. Really, my involvement
I
came
don't know
a few
how you
days.
do it. You work full time too. I mean,
Yeah, so
you
lots
know,
going
is
on.
there anything else? I mean,
No, well, I think I needed a bit of a time out. I was
blame
also moving at the time too, and you know
Okay.
how stressful
Yeah.
buying a house is.
yeah, life goes on.
Yes.
Yeah, so
But they did a fantastic job last year. It was a new venue, Cesar Chavez Park.
I'm still talking about that.
No, it was great. It
That
was-
night out, it was
wasn't it?
such
It was-
an
it was
amazing night
fan-
because it was so warm.
Yeah, it was
Again, back to
fantastic.
weather.
That was a really good venue. We kind of piggybacked onto music on the park, which made it easier for logistical reasons. We talked about that venue beforehand, and I don't think it exceeded our expectations. It was a great venue.
Yeah,
It
right
was
in the
a-
middle of the downtown San
Cesar
Jose.
Chavez Park,
Yeah.
absolutely, and it was a great turnout. So we decided this is a winning formula. We'd had it on the street beforehand,
Right.
outside Adobe, kind of on Park and Almaden, that area. We'd
Right, the
obviously been
Children's
in.
Museum
Yeah,
kinda,
we'd also
yeah.
been in the park too. We moved it to street a couple of years ago to try and differentiate it.
Right.
It was a good location, but I don't know if you were there, but my goodness, it was hot.
That was the thing. I couldn't
it
go
was
on
a-
Sunday,
it was-
but I did go on Saturday night, and it was fantastic.
Yeah, so moving it to Cesar Chavez Park, we think is a real win-win, and the city's been very supportive of
Now
us.
you do know the date for that, though.
We do. It's going to be, the actual festival is going to be Sunday, August the 26th.
August the 26th.
We are going to have a parade in the morning,
Okay.
dovetailing into the festival. We're working on the parade route right now.
Okay.
The parade will start about 10. Last year we had a fantastic participation.
Yeah.
We had almost 1,000 people in the parade. Wow. Yeah, I mean, considering.
San Francisco, watch out.
I know. We're on, yeah. And that was, really kind of cool because that was the second year of the parade. The parade before it was pretty slow. We'd not done a parade, I think, for 5 or 6 years before.
And what's the theme for the parade? Or for the pride?
Unity,
celebration?
diversity, strength. So that's our tagline. We think that really sums up a lot of what's powerful about our community, that we're definitely better as unified, and together we have strength. So we have our venue, we have our dates, we're still working some of the particulars. And also the Pride Board this year has been really good about social outreach. We're doing a lot more involvement in the community, whether it's helping homeless or feeding
Alright,
homeless.
That's
and,
awesome.
Yeah, so we've been really good and involved.
So give us again the last the contact links that we're going to need in order to get to you.
Alrighty, so for liquid therapy, go to www.liquidtherapysj.com, or you can find us on Facebook and Meetup if you
okay.
search under that. And you can find out all the really great things that we're doing at Pride, find out more about the Pride celebration, and sign up to be a volunteer at www.svpride.com.
Murray, thank you so much
Thanks
for
so
coming
much
in
for
and
having
giving
me.
us
It's
a
been
little
great.
bit. And
Alrighty.
I'd like to have you in again, before
I would
the
love
thing.
to be here. Thanks so much for having me.
All right.
Hi, I'm Sybil Shepherd, and you're watching Outlook Video.
With us tonight is San Jose native and LGBTQ fiction writer Marvin Neu to share with us his latest writing, The Calling. Welcome to Outlook Video, Marvin.
Thank you, Roberta.
Yes, it's so nice to have you here. Now, you grew up in an accepting family as a gay man, as a very accepting family, who was really quite encouraging to you and your writing. But I noticed in your bio that you also were very much interested in finding identity in the readings that you had at that time. How did you find identity through writing?
Well, that's just the thing. That was really difficult. I grew up in the 70s and the 80s, and I loved paranormal, videos, movies, Steven Spielberg, Poltergeist, also enjoyed like Star Wars, Star Trek, and you never saw LGBTQ characters.
True.
And it wasn't until I read Anne Rice's book, we had talked about it a little bit earlier, Interview with the Vampire, that I finally got to see two male characters who, even though she didn't say they were, in a relationship, they were in a relationship. So, seeing that, there just wasn't anything else. So even though I had a wonderful family who loved me and accepted me for who I was, that was something that I wanted to change. It's like, we need to be more visible, we need to be out there, people need to see us and not see the perfect gym bodies or something like that, but see the real us.
Yeah.
See that we're cross-culture, cross-economics. You know, we're not all the beautiful people that you see on TV. We're just like everybody else.
Okay.
And that's what I wanted to show.
And you brought that into your writings, yes?
Yes.
And speaking of which, so what made you choose this type of writing with fiction? Well, I mean, this is vampires and witches, and oh my!
Yeah. Well,
So what made you go down that road?
like I said, I loved paranormal. Anything to do with the paranormal. Loved Anne Rice, Interview with the Vampire, priceless. Really one of the best. You know. You also had people like Alfred Hitchcock who told amazing stories, strong characters. And that's what drew you in, and that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to have these incredible character-driven stories that you know, were in these bizarre, not bizarre, but paranormal settings, strange settings, just something really unique and different.
Well, in your book, The Calling, there's a gentleman, Duncan Alexander, and speaking of a strong character, tell us about his character in your book.
So Duncan is what I like to classify as the everyman. He is not one of the beautiful TV people that you would see. He could be your brother, he could be your cousin, he could be your best friend. He is meant to be very relatable. Somebody who you would pass on the street and not really think too much about, but just be, he just is. He's like so many of us. He just goes about his life, but yet there's something special about him. As there's something special about all of us.
So he has this calling, yes? Okay.
Yes, for whatever reasons, he's drawn to San Jose.
Of all places.
Of course, gotta do the hometown.
You gotta give a plug for the hometown.
Exactly.
Good for you.
Yeah. And he gets what I hope everybody gets in their life, an amazing adventure. And that's what I wanted him to have.
Well, in this book, The Calling, his character hovers between the light of day and the dark of night. And what do we find there? Can you give us a hint? No, we don't want to give the whole story away.
I don't want to give the whole story away, but I will tell you that he definitely gets to see what it's like to be truly, I'm going to say, not truly good, but somebody said it best, kind of more like not a chaotic good, but kind of you know, what good people are and what bad people are, who accepting people are and who accepting people aren't. And he gets to see through the vampires and witches that he encounters what's really important. And he gets to learn a little bit about himself and learn about others, and I hope it's an exciting ride for folks.
I hope so too. I'm anxious to read it. Thank you very much for providing this copy. And
of course.
For our viewers, check it out. You want to make sure that you make a mental note of this. I'm looking forward to reading more about it. And do you have other books in the works?
I do. So I've been very, very lucky. I have 2 short stories that have previously been released. Everything that I do is all related around the LGBTQA community. But my publisher just picked up my science fiction series that's going to be coming out in the next, probably late this year, beginning of next year. Also set here in San Jose. Very excited about that.
You are a homeboy.
Oh, absolutely. You got to plug it as best you can, right? We've got the best city in the world.
Hey,
you know, it's like, hey, love it. Love it.
Okay.
So yes, I've got that coming out, and then my publisher is evaluating another story, so hopefully that will get picked up as well. And like I said, I've got the 2 short stories that are already out.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, how do you find the time? Because I know you have a day gig, so that you spend so many hours per day. Do you set aside so many hours per day for writing?
What I try and do is I try and designate some writing time. So a lot of times my husband and I both work full-time jobs, so on the weekends I'll get up early and I'll spend the early morning writing or late in the evening writing.
Oh, okay.
So that way we get to spend our quality time together, and it doesn't interfere with our lives.
That sounds like a well-balanced way
Yeah.
to do your work and to do your passion.
Yes.
And writing is your passion, correct?
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, that's great, and this looks like it's a great way to share it as well.
I hope so.
We look forward to seeing your other books come out.
Yes.
And we'll remember your name and remember this book. So those of you at home, take a look at your screen. You'll see where you can find out more about this gentleman and more about his upcoming books. Marvin, thank you so very much for joining us on Outlook Video, for sharing the calling. You have a calling yourself, a writing
Absolutely.
calling.
Yeah.
So we're very, very happy that you were able to share with us today.
Oh, thank you so much, Roberta. I really
Thank
appreciate you
you.
guys having me.
Thank you.
We love to get mail from you. Email us at comments@outlookvideo.org.
To contact us by phone, call 408-293-3040, extension 205.
Visit our website at outlookvideo.org.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/outlookvideo.
And connect with us at facebook.com/outlookvideo.
So last month was our celebrating success luncheon, and it was a fundraiser as well. And so we had a nice silent auction and a raffle with tons of stuff, and we raised quite a bit of money. And we have a check to present to Gabrielle from our senior program.
Who can take the photos?
So Gabrielle, we're happy to present you with the senior program with this check.
$5 million. Shot from the side here.
So
Keep taking them.
So, Gabrielle, would you like to say a few things about the senior program here?
Yeah. I want to thank you so much for supporting us, because, you know, once you're old, people want to say, well, you're not going to live that long, so goodbye. You know, and I'm 67 myself and have been overseeing the senior program, and I found out that if you treat seniors like real people and are excited about wisdom rather than old age, then people perk up. And so, because we have this new president in the White House, what we've been doing is getting involved in age-friendly Santa Clara County, age-friendly San Jose. We made age-friendly San Jose do a focus group with our group because they were doing all this diversity stuff, and they did, and I have the results of that. We found out that when they sold the fish market, they are building affordable senior housing. So we got the developers here, the Housing Authority here, we got our city council member here, and BAYMEC came here listening to our seniors about what would be safe and welcoming LGBT senior housing. And they're really listening, and they're actually, the Housing Authority, as a result of being here listening to our seniors, they are going to put in very strict policies that they will make sure that the company that is the management company of the affordable housing unit, that they are proactive with any of the residents who are homophobic. It's not just about the employees, but they will not tolerate that, and they will increase the security. Woo! Yeah, that's what our seniors are doing. And very vocal. I have a document I put together about all the other things, I won't go on, and I have photographs. So if anyone wants a copy of it, We have a list on our table there. Just give us your email and I will email you this and you can look at it tonight. It's just exciting that being old means that you have so much experience that you can utilize in this day and age and fight for your rights, and I'm liking it.
For May, Michael Vargas, who's on our board, who's a lawyer, very involved with BAYMEC, we're putting together a meet the gay candidates of Silicon Valley running for office. We're going to have an event in May. We haven't figured out exactly what day or where, but it will be happening in May. It'll be meeting the gay candidates and listening to all the issues they have in running as a gay candidate, things that have come up, things that we can help them with, and hopefully you'll all come to that event. We will get it out as soon as we get it scheduled, but Michael and I are working on it now to figure out exactly where and when to have that, and we hope you can all come because it's going to be a unique event.
And one other thing we're working on too is just starting. It's called, we're kind of formulating the name, but it's in response to the Supreme Court decision, which is up this June. It's the Masterpiece Cake decision. It's about the couple that was refused service in Colorado at a bakery for baking their wedding cake. So recently there was a case in Kern County where a judge sided with the baker on the same case. So we decided we need to get our ducks in a row and kind of educate our members about the possibilities of what could or could not happen in June. And so we're going to have this campaign, and we're kind of calling it Cake Stand. And that's the preliminary name. And what we're going to try to do is, if any of you know any bakers locally that you think are gay friendly, we'll contact them and ask them if they'd like to be on our list, our cake stand list, as a gay friendly baker in the area.
And I already contacted Icing on the Cake in Los Gatos, and she's on board. All right. Awesome.
Rourke, as the board president of the Rainbow Chamber of Commerce, how does that feel being part of the Silicon Valley?
Well, it's a pretty exciting time, this time of the, I would say this time of an era when LGBT businesses are being recognized. LGBT businesses are getting opportunity to do a lot of contracting with some major corporations.
Oh, so you're talking about the counties actually contracting with LGBT businesses.
The county seeks LGBT-owned businesses, the public utility companies, any company regulated by the California CPUC also is seeking out LGBT-owned businesses as part of their supply chain.
That's fantastic, and yet the political climate seems to be the opposite. So how do you contain the Rainbow Chamber's mission?
Well, our mission is driven by a certain specific set of items. We do development, we do education, we do project management, we do advocacy. So when we do anything the Chamber does, it has to kind of fill in one of those buckets. So we don't endorse candidates. We stay away from that. There are other folks that can do that. But we do take, when an issue kind of attuned to what we do, then we take issue on that. So like, for instance, the Masterpiece Cake issue before the Supreme Court is something we're going to be advocating about with our membership and out to the public as well.
So that was a business that refused to actually serve an LGBT couple wanting to get married. It was a wedding cake. So that fits into your Rainbow Chamber mission, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah.
And as a matter of fact, we're having a kind of a symposium next month in San Francisco, and we're going to be talking about a lot of issues like that. Supplier diversity plus this particular case before the Supreme Court.
So what can people do about this case? do they contact the Rainbow Chamber about this?
Absolutely. What we're planning to do, we're going to call it something like Cake Stand. We're just formulating the idea now, but we're going to gather a list of bakers in Silicon Valley that will be happy to bake a cake for same-sex couples. So we plan to enlist our membership to get recommendations, and we don't want anyone to walk into a bakery and get refused service. So that's kind of the next project we're doing in the next few months.
It sounds like you need a rainbow sticker of a rainbow cake on these businesses' doors so you know.
Exactly. Well, we will get a list and we will publish the list. So that's kind of the way we can service the community and add a little, work on business. They don't have to be LGBT-owned businesses, but they need to be friendly to be on the list.
That sounds fantastic. That seems like that could be a lot of fun, especially for you as the board president.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it. We just started planning sessions, so we'll come up with a full program in the next month or so. So we're excited. I think it might even spread to some of the other LGBT chambers in the Bay Area because I think folks kind of like the idea.
And that's this month's edition of Outlook Video. You can watch extended versions of our segments and archive past programs of the Outlook Video's YouTube channel at youtube.com/OutlookVideo. And be sure to click on that subscribe button.
Also, friend us on Facebook at facebook.com/OutlookVideo. Outlook Video is made possible by generous donations from viewers like you and talented volunteers behind the camera, whose names you'll see as we close. We close this month's show with coverage of scenes from this year's Sydney Mardi Gras.
From all of us here at Outlook Video, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next month. Bye-bye.
Bye.